To me, I just feel like all the shit is being revealed now. Trump brought out all those people who really are racist, because most white people are. They just don't understand that they have that microaggression.
Oh my God.
The alleged comedian for Saturday Night Live, someone who I've rarely seen be funny, went
I didn't even know she was on Saturday Night Live. Sorry for not mentioning that in the intro.
on a Donald Trump rant. She sounded unhinged. She sounded racist. Let's ingest all 3 minutes of Leslie Jones in a racist tirade about Trump and his supporters and just what the world has come to. Play the clip.
To me, I just feel like all the shit is being revealed now. Trump brought out all those people who really are racist, because most white people are. They just don't understand that they have that microaggression.
Let me be very clear. Let me actually preface it with this. I do not just look for videos that allow me to talk about Black women. I do not. I know y'all don't think that, but I'm still going to say it anyway. Maybe to ease, I was going to say something else. Maybe to ease a little bit of what the sting of what I may be getting ready to say. So maybe that's just me putting that out there. But to say that Trump brought out all the racists, it's going back to the same argument that so everybody that voted for Trump is racist. Every white person is racist. What does racism even mean? Maybe we should go to that. What does the word racism even mean? Let's hold on. Let's do that. Hold on. I'm gonna share the screen with y'all because we need to look this stuff up, because the way this word is thrown around, I want to know what it means. What does racist mean? Can y'all see it on the screen? Hold on. We're gonna look up the definition of racism. Hold on. Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular race or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. So even in the definition, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. That's interesting, and some thoughts come to mind as far as why it says a minority or marginalized. But let's go to the next line. The belief that different races possess different distinct characteristics, abilities, or qualities, especially so as to distinguish them as inferior or superior to one another. So that's the definition that I grew up with, or that I grew up thinking, that it's the belief that one race is superior to another. Now, I know that there's a whole bunch of other definitions, and as I've grown, I've come to understand racism to mean different things. Being strategic, using your strategic power to hold another group of people down, oppress another group just based on their race. A lot of different definitions there. When we just stand behind Trump being racist and he brought out the racist and he's a Nazi and all these different things, I think it's losing a lot of its juice. I think in 2016, when people were saying that he brought out all the racists, I think it was a different point. And I think that there was some validity to it in 2016, in my opinion, as far as how I was looking at it. Now, a lot of that was based on how the media was reporting certain stuff. So I also have to factor that into why I was thinking what I was thinking at the time. Charlottesville is a great example, to find people on both sides. So a lot of the lens that I was seeing things through, this was more believable in 2016. Saying that Trump brings out all the racists in 2024, I think that that's the same talk that pushes people away from the Democrats. Like Trump being racist, I don't know. Like I don't know what that means. Trump bringing out the racist, I don't know what that means. I really don't know what that means. But let's keep going with the video.
Mostly are. You don't even understand some of the racist shit you do, and by accident.
This seems like that stance where Black people can't be racist. She sounds like she believes she's one of those people that believe black people can't be racist, which is one of the most inferior mindsets that you can have. And the reason why a lot of people say that black people can't be racist is because people say that black people don't have the power to be racist. What are you talking about? How dumb of a statement, how dumb of a mindset is that? All white people are racist. Let me be very clear. Everybody is selfish. Everybody believes that they're more, I'm saying the majority of people. The majority of people believe that they're more important than the next person. And whether you'll say it, whether you'll consciously accept it, or that's a different story. But look at people's actions. Do people treat others the way that they want to be treated? No. Will people excuse their bad behavior towards somebody else if it benefits them personally? Yes. Everybody is selfish. So when you look at it from that standpoint, is it the belief that all white people are better than all black people? Do you think that Donald Trump thinks that all white people are better than all black people? I don't think so. He may not. I don't know. That's like, I mean, a lot of people would say that, but to come out here and say that Donald Trump has brought out all the racists, well, Joe Biden locked up all the black fathers, right? Joe Biden locked up all the black fathers when they were either using or selling crack cocaine, but gave a pass to everybody that was using the powder form of it with cocaine, even though his son obviously was using crack cocaine. When they come out, when it's an opioid addiction in Staten Island, oh my God, we got to get these people help. But when it's a heroin addiction, the same exact drug, it's, man, forget them. You know, we don't want them around our neighborhoods. We don't want them around our family members. It's a different mindset. So I'm just recognizing all these things, and I just see it totally different than how she's presenting it.
Just from being a white entitled mother. Seriously, and that shit's starting to show now. And it's getting so bad, like, oh, we don't want you to see your history and all of that. I think people are just waking up to the shit that's been going on, and now we're waking up.
What do you think? I mean, do you think there's this current sort of
and here you got this white man. What did I say all the time? Yup, these white men, these white male liberals, and a lot of these white women, y'all allow these black women to just say anything and everything to y'all. You don't push back. You just sit back and accept it and say, yeah, you know, we're evil racist folk. Yeah. You don't push back. You don't say anything. And that's why a lot of people that's what creates a lot of conservative white men to feel like they got to stand on certain stuff, because you got people like Gavin Newsom that just allow black women to just say any and everything about white people. And meanwhile, they're sitting over there getting riled up because they're like, yo, stand up, like say something. You think all of us are racist? You think Trump is bringing out all the racists? Trump, in my opinion, he's doing a better job of unifying the country than what Barack Obama did and what Joe Biden did. Just look at what he's already done. Look at the people that he's brought on. He's bringing people from different parties, all different types of mindsets. And if we were not looking at it from the standpoint of Dr. Umar, when Dr. Umar just said, you can't solve political problems with emotions. You can't use emotions to solve political problems. If we weren't looking at it from that standpoint, then we would recognize the fact that Donald Trump, that same government that we've been complaining about being racist for so long, having these old white men in office that never leave, and these conservative folk, those same people are the people that hate Donald Trump because Donald Trump is going in there and he's cleaning it out. That's what he's claiming. That's what he's saying he's going to do. Now, he said he was going to do it the first time when he drained the swamp, didn't do it, hired a lot of people that were the traditional folks, the same people that he said that he was going to get rid of. But now you can see with his cabinet picks, it's a totally different thing. And I know that that's what a lot of these elites are scared of, Democrats and Republicans. So here you got Donald Trump standing up against the same government, the same Board of Education system, the same FBI, CIA, the same federal agencies that we've been complaining about for years, about being racist, about killing some of our leaders, about doing all these harmful things to our communities, but yet we're on the side of the people that are now for the agencies. We're on the Democrat side. We're for the FBI. We're for the CIA. Donald Trump is the one that's bringing people in that are going to dismantle, uncover a whole lot of stuff. I thought we didn't want to pay taxes on stuff that wasn't important to the people, that was just allowing the elites and the politicians that were able to spend this money to do whatever they wanted with it. This is what Elon Musk and Vivek are doing. They're going in and uncovering stuff and saying like, yo, we've misspent a whole lot of this money. And where do we think that money comes from? It comes from our tax dollars. Or they print more money and it impacts us from an inflation standpoint. Let's keep going.
More the extreme of what you're just saying and sort of distillation in the last few years, I sense in particular, was a reaction to George Floyd. It was sort of a reaction,
Right.
sort of in that sort of COVID.
Gavin Newsom is a clown. He's a clown. He is the clown that will appeal to a whole bunch of Black women in particular, because that's who the Democrats want to appeal to. We saw it in the election. That's who they want to appeal to. He's the type of guy that will just, it's embarrassing. It's really just embarrassing. He'll say anything, do anything, sweet talk y'all, have y'all thinking that he's on y'all side, and the whole time doesn't give a damn about you, just has chosen this path as his path to get to a powerful position. That's it. These people do not care about you. These people do not care about your families. These people are simply manipulating you into supporting them so they can get to a position of power, and that way you can be one of their strongest pawns in their army. That's it. That's it. My man Smart said it. If y'all know who Smart is, brilliant young mind. He said that Black women have always been the greatest soldiers in the white man's army, and that is exactly what Gavin Newsom represents, in my opinion, though. All right, so Uncle Brother wrote, I don't think you have to intentionally look for these videos to call out Black women. They're readily exposing themselves by putting these ridiculous rants out before considering the consequences. Even from a standpoint, and Uncle Brother, you bring up a great point. Even from a standpoint of how she's presenting herself. If a Black man got on TV talking how she's talking, it would be looked at in a certain type of way. If a white man got on TV and started talking the way that she's talking, it would be looked at like, oh, easy, like that person's a little aggressive. But we pat Black women on the back for it. We pat Black women. The more aggressive, the stronger. Like those are all the things that we celebrate, because it benefits not the people that they're in relationship with, not their families, but it benefits the people like Gavin Newsom that want to use them for a particular purpose to have them fight their battles. Y'all talk about being the most unprotected, right? Black women always talk about being the most unprotected. So why do y'all side with white men like Gavin Newsom that are just going to use y'all to fight battles rather than siding for another group of people, or just siding with yourself and not being manipulated into being thrown into battle by a white liberal Democrat in Gavin Newsom? Y'all say y'all are the most unprotected, but want to jump out the window and be the first line of defense when it comes to a Gavin Newsom without even realizing and allowing your emotions. Why? Oh, because of abortion. Because of abortion. This is what all of this comes down to. They've made abortion such an emotional issue for a lot of y'all that no matter what the other side says, it doesn't matter. We're rocking with these folks. Let's keep going. Queez wrote, actions speak louder than words. What affects you more? Someone calling you a racist remark or a policy that puts you at a disadvantage? What has impacted Black people more? Donald Trump? Oh my God, Donald Trump, his dad wouldn't rent apartments to Black people. He put out a Central Park 5 article calling for these young men to get the death penalty. Oh my God, Donald Trump brings out racist. Did we not see the video from yesterday with Joe Biden and his crime bill? What has impacted the Black family more than Joe Biden's crime bill? Name a policy that has impacted negatively Black households more than the crime bill. Name one of Trump's policies, please. And while y'all doing that, I'll get to the rest of the comments. They sit back and Mama Lay wrote, they sit back and listen. They sit back and allow them to make fools of themselves. Leslie looks really militant, and it's embarrassing. Shaking my head. She looks very militant, and it is embarrassing. It's like, why are you trying to, like, why are they trying to make y'all out to be soldiers? And then what happens when somebody says, hey, y'all don't have to be that way? When the kicker at the Kansas City Chiefs, Harrison Butker, when he says, like, hey, we know the society only rewards y'all or pats y'all on the back for climbing the corporate ladder and being these other things and seeing that as your success. But being a mother, being in the household, maybe being a housewife, all of these, that's a very honorable, maybe the most honorable thing that you can do, raise a family. But we don't pat people on the back. We don't give y'all the 30 under 30 awards for just being great mothers. No, we give it to you for acting a fool on TV, for fighting other people's battles, for climbing the corporate ladder and disregarding family and pushing that off. We're going to freeze our eggs. Don't worry about that. We'll address that later on. More eggs frozen now than ever. More eggs frozen now than ever. So we are choosing to climb the corporate ladder over having families and having kids. That's what we're seeing. Levi wrote, shout out to Levi. You were here last time, right, Levi? Appreciate you tapping back in. The liberal media has created a real shitstorm over the last 8 years. Race hustlers, Al Sharptons. The influence they've had on people's opinions of each other is truly scary. People's minds are fragile. I agree with you 100%. And I wish that more people would realize how fragile their minds have become by allowing ourselves to get so emotional that it's like we are such emotionalized creatures that the littlest thing can sway us one way or another. I was having a conversation yesterday with a close friend, and there was an issue that we were having with a mutual person, or that he was having with somebody that I've had an issue with. And the initial response was to be like, man, F that, like expose all of them. But then we got to a point where it's like, nah, we don't need to do that. Be logical. Be logical. Be strategic. Don't be emotional. When you're all emotional, you're just, oh, I'm going to write him an email back. I'm going to say something. That's how we all think. But in all actuality, how are we going to feel after we do that? Yo, I want to punch this person in the face. How are you going to feel after you do that? Now you got to go to court. Now you got to miss work. Now you're going to lose your job just because this person says something. You understand how things can become when you get emotional. Uncle Brother wrote, good point, Queez. Dems talk a good game, but their policies seem to do as much, if not more harm, damage to black folks than those of the so-called racist party. Can I just ask y'all a question? Uncle Brother, I agree with you 100%. Can I just ask everyone a question? All of these things that we talk about, when it comes to advancing society, when it comes to improving our families, improving the chances of our young kids being successful in life, there is a solution to all of this. There is a solution to all of this. And it may be the most impactful solution, but we disregard it. The solution to being successful, whether you look at a group of people that are successful, whether you look at individuals, is having a strong family structure, right? Having a two-parent household. When you look at how kids do having a two-parent household compared to not having a two-parent household, it's clear, right? Now, you may be one of the exceptions, but we can't just see the world through exceptions. We can't see the world through LeBron James's and say everybody should be able to play in the NBA. Look at LeBron James. He played in the NBA. Everybody should be able to. We can't see the world. We have to see the world through the norm. The 5'8" dude who may not be able to jump or run fast. That's the norm. That's how we have to see the world through in a lot of these situations. Because when we see the world through, emotions allow us to see the world through LeBron James and the exceptions. Emotions are what trigger people when I simply say something that the stats prove that a two-parent household is going to create the best chance of your kid being successful compared to a single-parent household. When people initially tense up and get upset when me saying that, those are your emotions. I'm just talking about the stats. If you're the exception, cool, be the exception. But the rule is that two-parent households provide a better support system. They nurture a child better to have success in life later on. It just is what it is. So if that's the case, name me another factor that is as strong in determining whether or not our kids will be successful than having a two-parent household. Name me another factor. So if there's not a better factor out there, if there's not a stronger factor that plays a role in our kids becoming successful or not, then why not focus on that one? And then it's very simple, because now we can back into it. Now we can say which party's principles, which party's values, which party's agenda do you think is going to give us the best chance to have successful two-parent households? Which party do we think is pushing more for that? Do we really care about the success of our younger generations? Or do we just want to root for our favorite football team? Which one? Because we can't have both. We can't, or maybe you feel like you can. I'm not going to tell you what you can't have. Both haven't been working. So maybe we should choose one and lean into that. When we look at all these other cultures that are successful, Asian cultures being super successful, whether it's Indians, whether it's Chinese, whether it's Koreans, whether it's what are people from Singapore called? Singaporeans? I don't know. Whether if you're from Singapore, is Singapore, which is the one from Crazy Rich Asians? Somebody tell me, where was Crazy Rich Asians? What were they? That may not have been Singapore. Whether it's Jewish people, all of these people that are successful, we look at all these other cultures, and if we study them, we realize like, they have a solid family structure. They have a solid family structure. Matter of fact, when you look at the numbers and study, and I got to go back and look at this, but I'm going to actually this is something that I try not to do. I'm not going to say it as a fact, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask y'all. I've heard this before, but I'm going to ask us all. Look at the numbers. When we talk about racism and put that at the forefront of every single issue that we have, when you compare white two-parent households to black two-parent households, I would say that there's a lot of similarities there in the outcome and in the success outcome of the kids. I think that there's a greater disparity between, or there's less of a disparity between white and black than it is between two-parent households and single-parent households. That would be my claim. I may or may not, I've heard it plenty of times. That's why I'm confident saying it. But to say it as a fact, I would have to show y'all the numbers. So maybe that's something that I'll look into. Queez wrote, Black women by far are the Dems' greatest supporters. They are the monolith. Just think about, why are Black people, the people that are doing the worst, why are they the ones that are so monolithic when it comes to voting for a political party? Don't y'all realize, don't we realize, don't y'all realize that when you study the people that politics is benefiting the most, they are not monolithic when it comes to who they are deciding to vote for. They are not going into it and saying, we voting Democrat regardless of whatever, regardless of who y'all put out. Matter of fact, we ain't even got to say it. Just let the action show it. We brag about Black people have been supporting the Democratic Party for so. That's nothing to brag about. That's something to say, what the F are y'all doing? Why? Why have we been doing this? What have the results been? What have we received in return for the things that we're giving? Why do we keep paying for a product that we're not receiving any goods and services in return? I don't know. But and then when you look at these other groups, they'll vote for whoever. They're going to vote for who's going to put us in the best position. All these Democrats and a lot of the Joy Reids saying all these Latinos, they voted against their best interest. Politics have been more favorable. To me, Latinos have gotten more out of politics than Black people. So maybe we should take a lesson out of their book instead of looking down on people thinking that we're better than them because they may not have been in this country as long and they didn't build the country through slavery and all this other stuff. Yeah. If Black people did all this, then why is our standard so low when it comes to what we receive based on what we give to a lot of these politicians? Let's keep going. Ant wrote, like I said, Black Lives Matter, fear-mongering mixed with Trump, not reprimanding the cops and or bigots. Queez wrote, they know their target audience, LOL. That's a fact. Just sent you something funny, by the way. Queez, should I play it? Is it something that, if you sent me something, should I should I put it on there or should I review it first? You tell me. Japanese. Crazy Rich Asians, I don't think they were Japanese, but maybe. Maybe they were. But you're saying Japanese as far as the people that are doing very well here. Yes, I totally agree. Maya wrote, most people who live in Singapore are from other countries. Okay. Levi wrote, totally agree. Queez wrote, had that two-parent household combo with one of my boys. When you say kids are more successful in a two-parent household, it can be taken as the single parent was not enough or a failure. And Queez, I'm so glad that you said that. I'm so glad that you said that because you're right. And if I want to actually, like, I don't want to just be right in saying something. I actually want to say things that are going to do what I would want somebody saying something to me do, which is I want somebody who's going to give me some game that I'm able to use in my life to make my life better. So how they say it to me matters, right? Because if somebody says something to me some way, I may not be as accepting of the message or not appreciate the lesson in what they're saying as much. So let me be very clear. When I say that two-parent households are giving our kids the best chance of being successful, I'm not at all diminishing the single-parent households. I'm not at all. Even when I actually say it in my head, this is going to sound weird. I'm not even placing as much blame as maybe. I'm not only giving the blame to the parents. What I want us to do is understand that we have been manipulated. We have been encouraged to move in a certain type of way, to behave in a certain type of way, to embrace a certain type of culture that is only going to lead to us having single parent households. That's what I'm saying. I'm not, and maybe a lot of people will say, nah, you got to give more blame to the parents. No, this is one of those things where I am understanding that the culture that has been created, the culture that is pushed on us, the culture that we've accepted. So we have accepted it. So we definitely have to take some accountability in that. But I'm also extending a bit of grace because there's certain things that the culture, it's going to influence us all. How I look at abortions growing up when I was 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 is different than how I look at it now. I have to understand that the culture played a huge role in impacting my views on these things. So I want to be very clear. Just because I'm not calling out single parent households, I'm not calling it out at all. I actually, and you want to know why? Because I don't have any kids. I'm not married. So I actually honor the people that took that risk earlier than me to get married, to create a family, to start working on, to have kids, all these different things that people have done. I actually honor those things. And if it didn't work, I understand that may lead to a lot of these things. But what I'm attacking is the fact why it didn't work. Why is it so hard for us to get along with each other? Why is there so much resentment between men and women? A lot of it is exactly what these people are pushing in the Democratic Party. They don't want us, Black people specifically, they do not want Black families together. They want to be able to manipulate Black women and to give them certain things that incentivize them to get behind these liberal parties and have the mindset to where they're replacing the Black man in the household. That's what they want. That's what they've always wanted. That has been the plan for a very long time. We're going to use welfare and all these social programs to replace what a Black man would be providing in a household. That Black man won't provide for you. We'll provide for you. We got you. That Black man won't protect you. Oh man, that's a shame. We'll figure out a way. Just vote for us and we got you. That's the mindset. So that's what I'm trying to get rid of. It's not at all calling out. I mean, I guess it is a part of calling it out, but it's the reasoning. Why do we think the way that we think? Why is it so just acceptable to just, now I'm not saying this is the blanket for everybody, but why is it more, so I'm going to tell you what I was going to say, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to rephrase it to. I was going to say, why is it so easily acceptable to get a divorce? Like, why is that something that's just a option where it's like, oh, we're not getting along, maybe we should get a divorce. And everybody in the family is going to be cool with it. Oh, if you're not happy, if it's not working, don't worry. You could always figure something else out. It's good. You co-parent, you could do it. That's what I was initially going to say. Now, what I would change it to is to say is, why is it in the relationship that we will not do any and everything, or that, and I'm saying both parties, maybe in a lot of times it's one person or another, but why? Like, literally, why will we not do anything to make this relationship work? Because in a lot of relationships, when you sit down and say, hey, what do you need from me? That person tells them, the other person says, what do you need from me? Okay, boom. Those things in a lot of ways are very simple. But what is preventing us from providing those things to our significant others that makes it easier and in our minds the better decision to walk away from this and to try stuff out on our own? And it's not fun out here. I don't think anybody's running around saying like, yo, it's amazing being out here single. They try to push that to us in our 20s and our 30s. But I mean, when you get to, I'm 37, like I don't want any parts of that. I don't want any parts of that. But why is it in our minds that we would rather make the decision to get a divorce rather than to do any and everything to keep our family and our village together? In my opinion, it's a lot of cultural issues as well. And why doesn't a relationship work? Because that person's not doing something, or that person's doing something that this person doesn't like, or just doesn't agree, whatever. This person's doing something to that person, or that. I mean, of course, there's a lot of other reasons, but a lot of times it's just that. I would assume. Maybe it's not. Let me let me try to catch up with these. All right, I'm gonna read real fast. It's not bad. LOL. One parent can do it. One parent can do it, but that's what I think you're saying. One parent can do it, but it's hard. Uncle Brother wrote, exactly. Why are we black folks still supporting Democrats? From my perspective, they have failed us over and over. Democrats have failed us over and over. So many black people running around saying Trump's using the justice system to benefit him selfishly. He's just trying to get in a position of power so he can use it against his enemy. That is exactly what the Democrats are doing. That is exactly what Joe Biden just did with his kid. Not only just pardoning him from the things that he just pled guilty of, but giving him a blanket pardon. Is that not the same privilege, the white privilege that all these black Democrats talk about? Is that not what Joe Biden just exhibited? But what do y'all do? Y'all gonna defend y'all favorite football team by any means necessary. Well, we still better than y'all. We still did it. No, bro, you don't have to. You do not have to always agree with the Democrats. Y'all do not have to vote Democrat. I know you may feel bad. I know that you've been convinced that the ancestors are going to turn over in their grave if you consider voting for somebody else, but it's not that. What was the lesson that I got from football that I talked about yesterday? Do what makes sense. If you grow up learning that the Democratic Party is the best party for black people, what makes sense now? What made sense then may not make sense now. We're using old emotions and old thoughts about. We just can't get out of our own ways. Let me keep going. It's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon.